So can you see the Afro comb with the clenched fist?
Yeah.
So
Oh, I see.
that's the kind
The
of
top,
we
the
need
clenched
clean, non-corrupt leaders for Africa who will give us the real power. So that's what this piece is about.
Ah, like, okay. A
So-
nice piece.
And I love the levels to it because it's
And the color, the wood,
Yeah.
and the metal. The grinder, the food grinder, the old style food grinder.
Hello, my name is Anoff, or artistically known as Nanof.
brilliant. Thank you. So talk us through some of your work. I see this one here.
So this will be one of my oldest work, which is watercolor. That's where it all started, and it's called Abena syndrome, and it's a kind of Ghanaian, or maybe I don't know. I'll say a Ghanaian attitude where prayer is substituted for hard work, and people expect things to happen just by sometimes. What is the word? Just leaving it to God or to chance. Yes. So that's the kind of thing I was talking. Economic emancipation is about the city and how it's being knocked about, and we hope that one of these days it's going to rise and be on its feet. Yeah. And next to it is a sculpture piece I call Farmer, and
Right.
there's a famous nursery rhyme called Farmer, Farmer, will you marry me? And it goes, I'll marry you tomorrow. So just to highlight our hardworking farmers,
So there's always a message, a social message with your.
most definitely.
Okay.
Next to it, I call the guardian, and most of the guardians are moms. So it's like a mother with wings, but you have a baby in there. Yeah, so call it the guardian.
So what inspired you to work with metal? Because you started off painting.
When I started, there was a lot of metal around, and I needed to do a sign for this place, and metal was readily available. So I did the first one, and a few people came in and walked straight out because they were expected to see metal. So that also drove me into metal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I would assume that you have a plethora of sources of metal.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I collect and also have friends who bring me some of their materials when you're done with it, like household utensils and car parts and building materials as well, yeah.
So what are you particularly looking for when you're looking for something to work on? Like what kind of pieces?
Sometimes I have a team and sometimes I don't. I see a material and then it speaks to me, or the material tells its own story, so I try to tell the story through the material.
Yeah.
But sometimes I have a story and I have to look for materials to tell the story. For example, this one is a one I had, and I had to look for material. It's called the endangered species. I'm talking about the taxi drivers, Bolt and Uber taking over, and they're complaining. So yeah. So this one I had to look for materials and then try and get a piece together.
Well, that just shows how endangered it is. You had to also find the materials to go with it.
Yeah.
And you said you're self-taught.
Yes.
So how do you teach yourself to make such intricate, amazing pieces?
That one I can't really. Sometimes I think I'm just a vessel being used, and I have no idea how these things come into being.
So do you have a favourite?
And not really. This is a called studio session. In studio session, I found this big keyboard, and I was thinking, what can I do with it? And I was just thinking of all the sessions that have been had on it, and so this was like the beginning piece for this one. So, and I didn't want to just take any part of it, so I just used the whole keyboard and so I call it a studio session.
So how long did this one take you to
This one probably took me about a couple of weeks, because what I do is sometimes I have a plan and sometimes I don't really have a plan. So when I don't have a plan, the work evolves by itself, and sometimes that is much easier. When I have a plan is when really it's difficult to find parts to fit your part, you know, but when it's evolving by itself, then I'm just going with the flow. I'm just obeying instructions from above.
So do you prefer to use metal than maybe wood or paint? You have paintings here.
I started with paint, and my brother says the best form of flattery is copying. So most of these images which I have now are very common. And even at the art center, I go to the art center and I can see my images, long legs and stuff.
Yeah.
So the young ones have picked it up. So now I tend to sculpt more than paint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Metal.
Metal.
Okay.
Yeah. Metal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there some other material that you're not using that you'd like to?
For now, I'm using it from plastic to electronics to. I'm not using it as much as I want to, because it's just limited. But most probably when I start doing big and huge pieces, then I'll be using as much materials as I want.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just lastly, where can we see your work if we're in Ghana and then abroad?
In Ghana, a few places like La Maison showcases my work, and then maybe my studio. Yes. I'm kind of antisocial, and so people, you have to find me to find me.
Okay. And then outside?
Outside, not really. Those will be in private collections, unless I have like an exhibition.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you have one coming up?
Yeah, well, in the next couple of weeks, maybe it will be at a French school in East Legon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
then. And then if people want to follow you on social media, you have an Instagram?
yes, it's at Nanof Gallery, Nanoff Gallery, one word. Yeah.
Okay.
Nanof Gallery.
And again, your name is Nana?
I'm Nana Anoff.
Okay, thank you.
Or Nanof.
Nano.
Nanof.
Nice to meet you, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and
Okay.
God bless you.
God bless you.